Welcome, blessed soul family. I am the magical medium, and welcome to the spiritual guidance channel. This is going to be beautiful, short, and sweet. And if Spirit wants me to do an extension, I'll do a part 2. For right now, I am just feeling like we are meant to dive right into this. And as you can hear, my throat's going. Whenever that happens, I know that's Spirit's way of telling me to slow down. As you can see before you, we have the past life oracle cards. It has been a hot minute since we have used these cards for real. I was like, wow, interesting. I thought for sure we were going to do the dark mirror oracle, but no. So this is what part of your shadow do you need to leave behind in this eclipse season? And not just this eclipse season, this year, for this calendar year, for this Gregorian calendar year. This was our second eclipse season. We're not going to see the eclipse season for another 6 months until next spring. We will see a Mercury retrograde at the end of December, but, after tomorrow and by Wednesday, we're all going to start feeling a little bit, more at ease. So we will be able to enjoy, our holidays for those who celebrate. But I was wondering, I was asking Spirit, I'm like, what do we need to leave behind? I know, look at how cool this looks, by the way. How cool and eerie. And thank you so much, you guys, for giving me the beautiful praise and shout outs for my altars, or the altars that Spirit trusts me to build. They're just as fun for me to create as they are for you to watch. So I'm going to dive right in because I was like, what do I need to leave behind? If you watched my last video, I'll put a link below. Always look in the description box below for little pearls, or as my birthday sister Taylor Swift says, Easter eggs. Little, I like to call them breadcrumbs. If you're drawn to it, and there's no guilt, no pushing, no, it's only if you're drawn to it. But it's just an extension of the work we're doing here. Or if we roll over, if they want me to do another video, like a longer one, I'll do that. Because sometimes not everybody needs the medicine. There's a lot of us here, and we're all in our own level of consciousness. We're all working through things differently right now. So it's really difficult to, just say that this is, especially dealing with past life cards, just to say, oh, here's like a blanket for everybody. I wanted to do a pick reading really bad for this one, but I feel like the one we just did with what do you need to hear from Spirit right now, I think it covered a lot of bases. There were 5 different piles. Go check that out. If Spirit pushes me to, I'll put a link below. But yeah, in the description box, I put links to things we talk about, angel numbers, if you hear me calling out numbers or animals or certain things, and it's in the description box. That's for you to look up and research on your own, because you will absolutely positively retain it more if you read it yourself. So before we jump in, I just have to tell you guys, we had a freak snowstorm hit us, and it's unbelievable outside. It's unbelievable. And the moon, I mean, there's just a lot of magic happening all around. But I just think it's interesting that this eclipse season, just the way everything is wrapping up, I'm feeling so much lighter. Are you guys feeling lighter? Like, I'm feeling so much lighter. It's weird. It's like I woke up this morning and it's like I feel like I'm a different person. And I think a lot of it was because I had this realization of I still hadn't let certain things go from my past. And I really, 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 really needed to let them go, which is why I did the relieved witch. Goodbye, eclipse season. I spoke of my own experience with that, my own having to say goodbye to certain things. So I feel like this is like an extension of that for myself and for you guys. I'm part of the tribe too. I'm just the medium, you know what I mean? Like, I'm the go-between, not just, but I'm the medium. I'm here to channel the messages and filter them to you as best as I can. So I've called in your higher self and my higher self, and I called in all of those who look out for us in all capacities for our greatest and highest good. We are asking you, Spirit, we are asking you, past life oracle deck, thank you so much for loving us, protecting us, healing us, looking out for us, grounding us, connecting us. We are one. As above, so below. Thank you so much. Thank you for the Scorpio energy, for the flow. Thank you for the full moon in Taurus. We're in gratitude, this blood moon. So much special, amazing, cool things are happening. So thank you for being here. Thank you, everyone. We are in gratitude. This stage is yours. We are ready to let go of the part of our shadow that is no longer serving us on our journey. Can you please let us know what they are? I'm just going to pull some cards and see what Spirit says. Okay, so this one's just flipped out. Okay, so I'm just going to take them and basically I'm going to shuffle. I'm getting the vibe they want me to shuffle, and then we'll put a bunch of cards up at once. And it's also for you, this is a practice for you as well, for your intuition, okay? This is your intuition telling you, you know, if you look at a card and you feel nothing, don't make it your story, okay? Ooh, 607 and then 608. 67 is the witch's number, 13, the number of the goddess, divine feminine. Okay, so 618 as well. Well, okay. My eyes are closed. What other cards? Okay, there's one there. Okay. So what we're going to do is they're going to have me pull cards, and then I'm going to put them up. And then I want you, with your intuition, whichever ones you're drawn to, that's your story. It's kind of like a mass pick a reading. We're going to go into each card, but you know, you may look at one card and be like, I feel nothing. And that's okay. That doesn't mean, you know, it just means it's not part of your story. It's not part of your journey. There's a lot of us here. So, Spirit, any more messages? Nope, that's it. Okay, here we go. Okay. So what they're going to have me do is I am going to pause this, and then I'm going to put them all up, and then you know, wherever your eyes go first. And your eyes might go to many places, and that's okay. That's what Spirit wanted me to tell you. That's okay. It's absolutely wonderful, because that just means that you're, you know what I mean, that there's many things that you are working through or working on, and we will get to that. So I'll see you in just a few seconds. You guys, I mean, this is some cool shit they just had me do. I am having so much fun with this setup. Okay, so where did your eyes go? I don't even know if we're numbering them. Although I do feel like I said like door 1, door 2, door 3, door 4, but I don't remember which ones are which now. So it's very cool. And just the way the light is hitting them, they're all different. There's 4 doors there. Which door are you brave enough to walk through right now? I had them turned around, and they were like, oh no, turn them around. And then they had me kind of like, you know, shuffle them up. So I don't know which ones are which either anymore. But I'm going to start with door number 1 over here. So if your eyes went here, this is the shadow that you need to leave behind. The past life energy. Transportation. Interesting. Okay, so right out the gate, somebody in this group was decapitated in a car accident in a past life. So if you have dreams about it, or you have like, you're terrified to drive, or you like can't watch movies like where somebody's like they're cutting their throat, or they're something like that, like, ooh, my throat is like getting like really constricted. That's one thing I got from that. But I'm going to read from the book, because these cards all have really profound meanings. So let me get the book. Okay, this card signifies that you had intense experiences involving transportation in prior lifetimes. This is especially true if you presently have phobias related to airplanes, cars, and so on. And these fears don't dissipate as a result of getting traditional counseling or hypnotherapy. That's my cat. That's my familiar Baba. Those of you who know Baba, Baba the Great. So she says hello. When she comes in, she doesn't do that. She's very polite. She wouldn't eat. So that's her way of saying hi to you guys. And she says, hi, Anna. Okay, so in those cases, you likely suffered a traumatic past life event in some type of vehicle, which has caused you to lose trust in it. Yes, you may have been involved in the invention of a form of transportation or related technology, and that knowledge wants you to. Is that the same card? Hold on. Yes, wants to serve you in this lifetime. This includes those who lived during the time of Atlantis, when transportation was fueled by solar and crystal power. Your life purpose may involve reawakening the knowledge of alternative modes of transportation, which could be environmentally beneficial to our world at this time. Yes. See, that means like you've got a higher purpose. So sometimes it's not a bad thing to like go back to a past life. Like, you were brought back here to do that. You know what I mean? And I also keep hearing that song, I came in like a wrecking ball. So I don't know. So I feel like that's like something, there's something there for somebody. Okay, so I'm going to go back here. This is door number 2. Okay, war and battles. Oh, look at that Confederate flag. Ooh, that's intense. Okay, wars and battles. And I feel like it wants to stay back there. I was going to bring it forward. I will zoom in on it. But they said no, they want to leave it like that. When I looked down, it was 11:13, and then 11:14. This card indicates that you suffered or were killed in a war in previous lifetimes. Your unconscious will tell you whether you were a soldier, an officer, or a civilian who was a casualty during a battle. That lifetime could have turned you into a pacifist, or it could have made you conflict phobic, and you cannot stand any measure of violence or even loud voices. Conflict phobia prevents relationships from deepening, as part of the authenticity stems from sharing your true feelings with each other. It's also on page 99. So I feel like you guys are at the end. We're all like at the end of something. This is really powerful. Conversely, that lifetime may have filled your heart with anger and the desire for revenge. In such a case, you would have difficulty controlling your temper. This may even lead to addictions in your attempts to bring about peace. If you have that natural warrior spirit, it's important to channel it in peaceful and constructive ways. For instance, being an activist for positive social change or a legal advocate who champions underdogs. That's beautiful. Oh my gosh. This is like just plugging along in such a beautiful way. Okay, door 3, biblical. Yeah, biblical is a hard one. Okay, hold on. By the way, at 12:33, I swear 2 is for me. I can go on and on. Just a lot of shit's been coming through for me about that. That's so powerful. When you read about Jesus, Moses, or other biblical figures, you know that there's more to the story because you were there. Either you were a follower of Jesus or Moses, or you lived in the Holy Land. You may have also had lives alongside other famous biblical figures. As a result, traditional religious interpretations of the Bible stories don't ring true to you because you were there. You know in your heart and soul what really happened. As such, you tend to follow your own religious and spiritual path. I hear that. I feel that one too. If you have witnessed the crucifixion, you may have emotional scarring stemming from the heartbreak and horror that followed your beloved teacher's death. These reactions may have caused you to shut down your spiritual sight, your clairvoyance, and other gifts. Well, that's what spiritual sight is. To reconnect with your God given abilities, pray for help from the biblical figures to whom you feel most connected. You'll learn that they have forgiven all transgressions and have moved on with their spiritual lives, and they'll hope that you'll do the same. Oh, I love it. Okay, number 4. Okay, 1346. Oh, forgiveness. Oh my goodness. Forgiveness. This is so powerful, you guys. This is so powerful. I feel like for me personally, like they all apply in one way or another because I've been having just a lot of interesting things like this. Okay, I feel like I want to put this back here now, the biblical, and I feel like forgiveness needs to come front and center. Okay, also, when I was looking for forgiveness, my thumb, like, just, oh, do you see? There's been fairies flying around here. My thumb went to Celtic. Like it just like did it on its own. So that may be a little, for some of you with past life stuffs too. The war doesn't necessarily have to be in where you live now or where you're from. You know what I mean? It could be somewhere, where you used to live. So for some of you that holds true. Okay, forgiveness. The situation you're inquiring about will be healed or improved through your willingness to release old stored anger. You may not even be consciously aware that you've been holding, oh, you've given, interesting, Freudian slip there. You've been holding on to resentment. Your anger may show up in subtle ways such as high blood pressure, addiction, insomnia, or moodiness. Wouldn't it feel great to have stable moods and more control over your health? Forgiveness isn't the same as saying that the actions of others were justified or acceptable. Instead, forgiveness is a statement of self empowerment. You choose to detoxify yourself of all stored anger and other negative energies. It's your choice. After all, when you hang on to anger, it only hurts you and not the other person. You know that analogy of the poison. To heal this situation, be aware that meditation and introspection are important practices that can help you through this. See that your anger is merely a transient feeling, like a dark cloud floating across the sky. Recognize that the source comes from a past life and let it go. Forgiveness is cathartic and profoundly healing. Free yourself from negative and harmful emotions. It's on page 42, if that means anything to anybody. So, when I looked down, it was 1555. Wow, lots of angel numbers. There's a lot of people here. We all needed to see this today. Let me tell you, in meditation today, when I was gearing up I knew something was going to happen tonight. It's just a few hours before the eclipse is about to begin. And I was starting to understand so many things. So I sat with spirit and meditation. And the one thing that came to me was forgiveness. And I sat through and I forgave every person who wronged me, every person who hurt me in any capacity. And I don't need them to forgive me. I just forgive them. And I forgive myself because we all act from our own level of consciousness where we're at. And it's not always going to be at the same place. We're not always going to meet at the same time, at the same place. So if any of this, pulled your triggers, so to speak, it's time to let go of the anger and it's time to let go of the past and forgive because it's not going to do anything for us anymore, is it? I'm trying to find a nice way to do this. It's not doing anything for us. It's hurting us. If anything, it's hurting us. Because 1720, because the bottom line is the only people we need to worry about are ourselves. We've been programmed to believe that we should suffer for the greater good of all. But did you ever notice that you're suffering, but then other people aren't suffering? You're in a relationship, a family, a job, where you're like, but wait a second, I feel like I'm the only one suffering here. And you're like, what's happening? What's going on with that? And I feel like that's a very real thing. Why are we suffering? Why are the people who are hurting us, they don't seem to be suffering? 1757. They don't seem to be suffering, right? Maybe they are, though. Maybe they're not. I don't know. You know, I recently had something come up, an old memory of something somebody did to me, and I was starting to get really angry about it. So much of this is coming through for me too. So much of this. I mean, literally every door I am going to work with over the next 24 hours and leave it behind in this eclipse season. And whenever you watch this, it's timeless, of course, but vow to yourself to leave these things behind. And when they pop up, work through it, work through the anger, and then let it go. Leave it behind. Because I realized that the anger was that I was like, they're never going to change, or they're never going to say they're sorry, or they're never going to look at it from my point of view. They're never going to see it, and from my light, from my vantage point. I wish they would. I've tried, but they haven't. And then I realized it was the poison analogy, because I was like, I am struggling and suffering, and they are happy and doing their lives. So, wish them happiness. Wish them love. Thank them and thank this energy. Right now, we say thank you to the eclipse season. Thank you to the full moon in Taurus, to this blood moon, to this special astrological event. There's been so many cool things that were happening. You know, we don't always have the Mercury retrograde right on top of the eclipse season like this, but we had it twice this year, in spring and fall. And you know what? We're still here. We're still alive. 1944. That could be a year for somebody, past life. And we made it. So let it go. Move forward. Love yourself. Love them. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Just like don't hold it back anymore. Just let it go. Especially the war stuff, the revenge. That's karma. Let spirit take care of that. Revenge. That's why they say revenge is a dish best served cold, right? Because if you want to go for revenge, you better turn off every love light being that you are, because you're going to go to some dark shit, to some shadowy fucking place, because when we're wishing ill will on anybody for any reason whatsoever, if you're like standing in line and someone's being a bully or whatever, and you're like, I wish they'd trip and fall on their face. And then they trip and fall on their face and they break their tooth and there's blood everywhere. And you're like, oh my God. You're like, I didn't mean to do that, right? But when you see it right in front of you, Sex in the City, that just made me think of that scene. If you guys watch Sex in the City, you know what scene I'm talking about, comment below. That scene was so brutal. Oh my gosh. Poor Carrie. Poor, I can't think of the name of Big's wife at the time. But yeah, that was Bridget Monahan. Good acting, that whole thing. So, sometimes we have to just let things go and leave them in the past. We can't, take things with us. And when we die, we die. We take nothing fucking here with us, nothing but the lessons that we learned in our soul. So leave behind what you don't need anymore. Let it go. Give it to the goddess, give it to the gods, give it to spirit, the creator, whatever you believe in. Give it to your angels and say thank you with gratitude. With every fiber of your being, have true gratitude, because it taught you so much and it made you who you are today, right now, at this moment. 2144 and 2145. All right, you guys. It's getting later and later, and I can feel the eclipse energy getting really intense right now. So I am going to bid you adieu, 2158. Take really good care of yourselves and each other. And for those of you who live in the time change zones, really take it easy this week. It is tough out there, 2210. It is tough out there. It is tough out there. The election week, the fucking full moon, lunar eclipse, of blood moon. I mean, honestly, I can go on and on of all the things that are going on right now. So take it easy, 2223 and 2224. They've been piggybacking numbers like that. It's interesting. Lots are coming through. I think it's because people, maybe only one is for one person, or either way. Thank you so much. And thank you to the new subscribers. We are building in numbers and we are growing in power, because wherever two or more gather, my beautiful, beautiful, powerful magicians, my magical healers, my witches, my healers, and deep down believers, thank you for supporting myself, yourself, and this channel and spirit. Until next time. Take good care of yourselves and each other. I love you so much. Blessed be.